Oh, good morning. It is the 14th. Can you believe that already? July 14th? Halfway through the month almost? Jeepus. Well, if you're on, pop on and say hi. We've got a few more minutes here before we start. I got to write one more thing here. I got another thing to tell you. Got to make sure I tell you about this. In November. Okay. What's the dates on that? Hold on. I got to get this right. Let me just see. I wrote this in. It is November 5th through the 1, 2, 3, 4, no. November 6th through the, okay. Good morning everybody. Hey, how's everybody out there in Cyberland? Okay, let me get this fixed here. I just had one more thing to mention to you, and I just wanted to make sure I remembered, so I had to write it down. So if anybody's out there, please do pop on and say hello. Good morning. So today I'm going to show you some cards because that's what we do on Friday mornings. And let me just bring this over first of all, and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you this Earthen Textures stamp bundle, which I absolutely love. I think it's really beautiful. And it took me a while to get used to it, but now, like, I'm hooked. I can't stand it. Look at how pretty this is. Very chic, very contemporary, very could be Southwestern with these beautiful pots and flowers. And here's another version here. So I'm going to show you that. And then, of course, it is July. And so we talk about Christmas in July starting now, because if you make cards now, come November, they'll all be done. And all you have to do is write your little message, put your stamp on, and they're done. So we're going to be doing our Christmas card. Let me get this over here for you and show you. This is the Christmas card. This is the first one. Look at how cute this is. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, so I think what I'm first going to do is start with the Earthen Textures stamp and card, this one right here. So this is the Earthen Textures bundle, and it has a really cute, really beautiful pots and some beautiful foliage and nice block lettering. I like this a lot. And then of course it has the, if you get the bundle, you get all of the dies as well, which is very, very nice. And if you go on Pinterest, Pinterest is being flooded now with these beautiful samples with these cards. It's just beautiful. Okay, so let's bring in all the stuff we need here. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so the first thing we're going to be using is Bermuda Bay cardstock. And of course it's our regular, hey Paul, good morning. Thank you for popping on, sweet pea. I love you. This is my nephew. He's the one who suggested a couple weeks ago that we have the sailboat card, and we did it. Okay, so here it is. Here's my paper. I've used my bone folder. I've made my first fold, and I've made sure it's a nice crisp fold. Then the next thing I did was I took this DSP. This is DSP that came, I think this came for celebrations. I can't remember. Anyway, it came in the Bermuda Bay, and then it also came in like a mauve color. So I'm going to use this side, and if you look very closely, this piece is 5 by 3 3/4, and what I did was I took my score tool and I scored it in 3 different lines. I came in 1/2 inch from the side, I scored it here, then I scored it another 1/4 inch and another 1/4 inch, just to give it a little bit of dimension. I think it really looks nice like that. So now what I'm going to do is take this, and before I actually adhere it to my cardstock, what I'm going to do is stamp it. So I'm going to take Night of Navy as a contrast. You could do Bermuda Bay if you wanted, but as you look at the sample has a darker image of this basket and the twigs. So this is Night of, good morning, Gail. Did it thunder last night? It sure did, Paul. Holy moly, it woke me up. But then it stopped. As soon as it came, it went away, so it wasn't bad at all. Anyway, here is the Night of Navy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this Let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to take this, and this is, let's see, I'm going to stamp it about right here, like that. And then I'm going to stamp this one down a little bit lower, just for a little bit of interest. Now I'm going to take the image, the branch image, and if you'll notice on the sample, I was very careful not to get the stalk end on the pot because that would look kind of funny. Now you could mask it, but what I'm going to show you is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put the stamp right at the end of my block. So this piece is free flying. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to ink it up just right like this, holding the tail up, and then I'm going to bring it in and stamp it. I'm going to turn it this way. It's a little bit easier if I do it like this. Okay, like this. And I'm going to do it again, get a little bit more ink. There, just like that. How easy was that? See? Perfect. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cover this up because you know how I am, the messy stamper. And I'm going to then take the Bermuda Bay ink and these two stamps, and what I've already done is I've already stamped these and cut them out. Very, very easy. So these are going to get applied with some dimensionals. So whoops, there we go. Here are my dimensionals. I'm going to put probably, let's see, 2 on the bottom of this, and then I'm going to put 2 on the top of this one, like such, because what I'm first going to do is I'm going to put my stalk in first. And I'm not putting anything on the bottom because I don't need that. So I'm going to put that like right about here. I'm just going to make sure that this is going to be fine. Bring it up just a little bit more. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to uncover this, take those little pieces of paper off, and I can go ahead and put a tiny little bit of snail at the top. Not enough. I don't really need a lot. But here is the bottom. Here's the flat end. So that's going to come right down here like this. And I'm going to bring it right to there. How's that? Isn't that pretty? Now I shall add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this. Like this. And this. Oh, we're getting a little bit... Oh, this is getting low on adhesive here. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my base, and I'm going to put it on my base just like this. You know what? This is off just a little nanosecond, so we're going to trim this out. Sometimes when I fold my cardstock, for some reason, it's off like a 64th of an inch, and that happens to be the situation right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right there. So I'm going to just trim that out a little bit. Just take my little 6-inch trimmer here, and I'm going to just trim that right out. There we go. I'm a happy camper now. Okay, let me move this out of the way. All right, so that is that. Now the message is thank you. So I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay ink. I'm going to take the thank you that comes from this kit, which I absolutely love, this little block image. It's really, really pretty. It's nice, it's crisp, and I'm going to just stamp this just like this. There we go. And then I am going to put it on with a little bit of adhesive, because we just need a little bit. I'm going to tuck it under, right under here, just a little bit, just like that, like this. And then I see a little bit of adhesive right here. Let me just take my adhesive remover. There we go. And then, and then, what did I do with my, they're right here. So let me take these gems, and I think what I'm going to use is this color. This is kind of like a Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to put it right in the O like that, just to give it a little pizzazz. How cute is that? And then the inside, I am going to take my envelope, and I'm going to clean this off because I've already got, I used Night of Navy, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay for the inside and for the envelope. So in order to do that, I need to clean this off. because we don't want to mess up the ink. You know how that goes. Okay, and let me clean this off. And that's done. Let me bring my Bermuda Bay back in. And here is the inside of my card. And I'm going to stamp this just to give it a little bit of extra oomph. Like that. Oops, that's a little bit crooked. Let's turn this over. Silly me. Let's get this, there we go. That's going to be better. And then I'm going to take this again, just using the top. Oops! Look at that. I got a little mark right there. Well, let's see. I think what I'll do is I will use this side for now. I'm just going to do this again like this, because there are no mistakes, you know, when Stampin' Up. There we go, much better. That works. That's fine. And I'm okay with it being a tiny little bit off. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So let me get these out of the way. Let me bring this back in, and I shall add some adhesive. This is for the inside. And talk about fast card. These would make a lovely gift for somebody. All right, so that's going on like this. And nice and easy. There, look at, and it's not so bad. Can you see that it's crooked a little tiny bit? It's no big deal. There we go. And now the envelope flap, I'm going to just take this, add a little bit of adhesive around here. Actually, it's not a little bit. I have to make sure. And you know why I do that is because I want to make sure that when this is going through the postal system, that none of the corners pop up and rip. Because you know how they do it. They have those machines that the cards go through to correct the check the postage and the weight and everything. And so I want to make sure that this flap is nice and secure to the envelope flap so that it doesn't rip up. Because I've had that happen before, and then I learned from my little error that what you have to do is make sure it's on. So look, how pretty is that? So there you go. So there's the first one. Easy peasy. All right, let me move that out of the way. Now, let me show you the other one. Here's another one that we can do. Now, these are for Monday and Tuesday of next week. And here's the envelope for this. And now, the other option, look, I thought this would be cute. Instead of using the smoky slate pots, I did another one with the same designer paper. So this could be monochromatic. So you could, well, not monochromatic. We've got the two different colors, but that's a little interest as well. So you could do it this way, or you could do it this way if you wanted. So those are two of the cards for next week. And now we get into Christmas. Now I know some of you are rolling your eyes and saying, I can't even think about Christmas. It's too soon, blah, 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 blah. But I will tell you that my peeps who did this last year, who did Christmas in July, starting in July. Come November, you have, and let's see, this is July, August, September, October, November, 5 months, and just say there are only four weeks in a month, so that's 20. You'd have 40 cards already made. That's if you just do 2. So anyway, let's look at this one. All right, so here we go. Here is the card again, wicked easy. This is actually a bifold card. It's very, very easy. So you cut it to 8.5 by 5.5. You score it at 5.5 inches down the middle, and then you score it at 2 1/8, at another 2 1/8, because this is the 4.5. So a half of the 4.5 is 2 1/8. So there's the other score. So what you're going to do is fold it this way. Use my bone folder, and then I'm going to take this and bring this back and fold this like this. And so there is the fold. Now, what we're first going to do, let me bring the card in so you can see. There it is. Now, this is designer paper that was from a number of years ago. But it doesn't really matter what you use, as long as it coordinates and as long as it has eye appeal to you. So you can pick whatever you want. And I have this paper, so we're going to use this, but not that little strand. Get that away. There we go. And I'm just going to add this little panel right here, on here. So this piece is 5 1/4 by 2. or by 1 7/8. Let me measure that again. Sorry, I should have had the measurements out here, but I didn't. I didn't do that this morning. Okay, so this is actually it is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. There we go. So that's the panel of designer paper that goes on that. Then the next thing is you're going to have a piece of very vanilla cardstock. This is going to be for the inside. So what we're going to do here is take garden green ink, and we're going to take real red. So the garden green is going to be for the little branch, which I'm going to stamp right here like that. And then I'm going to take real red and add some berries to it very quickly, probably 3 because I like 3s. Okay, and then one more up here. Okay, there's that. Then I'm going to take this. I am going to be using those in a minute, so let's just get that out of the way very carefully. And I'll try not to get my fingers in it. But then again, if you don't have inky fingers, what's the point of stamping? All right, so this is this. And then I'm going to bring it in and put this in right here. Oh, you know what? I forgot my message. Oh, look at this. For heaven's sakes, this piece is longer. Oh, okay, so let's cut this off. This is going to be a little tricky. Sometimes, you know what? Let me put this on here. That is crazy, crazy. This is 1/4 inch too long. I don't know how that happened. But it's not an error. We'll take it off right here. I'm going to, and notice I put a piece of cello over the sticky part, so hopefully it's not going to affect this at all. So this comes off. And then this, I can just very carefully peel this off. And it takes a little bit of the paper off, but that's okay, because I'm going to be very careful pulling it. It's not going to affect it. There we go. All right, now let me get this out of the way. Let's try this again. Who knows how that happened? And this, and just a little bit more here. Okay. There we go. Now let's try that again. See, there are never any mistakes in Stampin' Up. Little persnickety situations that we have to correct. All right, so that's corrected. Now what I didn't do was put my message in. Now, let me just show you one thing here. If you can see, this is the card, and I have this little piece of real red cardstock, which is 3 by 3. So this piece of 3 by 3 is going to be the piece that comes right here. Now I want to cover up my message with this. So what I do is I just take my my stamp, and I kind of lay it out like, wait a minute, let me show you again. So I put this here, this is in the middle, and I can see that I've got about 1/4 inch on the side. So coming up like that, I'm going to make sure that when I stamp it, when I put my stamp message on the inside, I'm at least 1/4 inch in on the right-hand side of the card. So let me bring this out like this. Let me get this measured again, and let me put it right here, just like this. Perfect. There we go. And then when I close this, you can't see the message until you open up the card. All right, so my message is in. Here's my piece of red cardstock. Now, you will notice that on the sample, if you look very carefully, you can see that I embossed this with the snowflake embossing folder. If you look very carefully, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. There you go. But what I need to first do is I need to stamp my message Merry Christmas, because if I ran it through the embossing folder, it would be very, very bumpy to get my message on, and it wouldn't look nice at all. So let me get this. Here's my Merry Christmas. Again, let me get it here, and let me put it right in the middle. Now what you can do, if you want, you could put this on your grid paper. Each one of these little squares is 1/4 inch. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to bring this up a half a block so that it's equidistant on each side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. So now I know that this is the center line right here. So then I'm just going to make sure that it's even all the way around, which it is. And if I can eyeball it, the intersecting lines are right here. Here's the dark line, here's the dark line, and there's the center. So here is going to be my Merry Christmas. Whoa, look at that. Let's do that again. That didn't work out so well because I didn't press hard enough. Oh, you know why? Silly me. I forgot it's a clear stamp, so I need to bring it like this. Here we go. Now, if I wanted, I could make my marks on here to know where it's going, but I'm pretty good about making sure that I get it perfect. All right, so there's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go bring it over to my Stampin' Cut machine, and I'm going to run it through the snowflake embossing folder, and this will take me not even 10 seconds. Let me get this in here, let me get this here, and run it through. All right, run it through, and here we go. I'll show you what this looks like. Just like this. So there's the Merry Christmas. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, add some adhesive to this, and then I'm going to put it on my red square like that. Perfect. All right, now this is ready to go. So now the next thing we have to do is make our wreath, and this is wicked fun. I love this. This is so much fun. Now this is precision stamping. So what I mean by that is we've got two stamps that we're going to use. First of all, we've got the branch stamp. And here is my piece of paper. All right, so the branch stamp is going to be the base, the bottom stamp. Now if you'll notice on my stamp right here, I have a notch, not a notch. I have a magic marker, black mark. And the reason I did that is because I want to make sure that these stamps are going to line up exactly perfectly. And then when I run it through the Stampin' Cut machine, that it cuts out exactly perfect. So here is one, and here is the second one. So what I'm going to then do is take my little paper, I'm going to put a little mark right here. So everything is going to line up with that mark. There's my mark. Here is my first stamp, the twigs. I'm going to ink it up with soft suede ink. I'm going to bring it in so that that mark is going to hit that mark right there, like such. Press that down. Perfect. Now the next thing I'm going to do is close this up because gosh knows what a mess I make. The next thing is my green, my garden green ink. There is my tick mark right there. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to bring this right in again, right up here, just like this. Stamp that. Perfect. There you go. Can you see that? How nice that looks? See, now the next thing I have to do is I have to take the die, which is, wait a minute, right here, and the Country Wreaths dies. This is in the catalog, by the way. All right, so now this is the one that we're going to be using right here. Now, if you notice, what Stampin' Up! Has also done, or Sizzix, they've made a mark at the top. So this is the mark that matches this mark on my wreath. So what I need to do is, let me get this out of the way, bring my little mini in, get this out of the way, put that over here. Whoa, making a mess. Trying not to make a mess, but I'm making a mess. And the layer right here. All right, so now I put my plates in, and here is my paper, and my mark is right at the top right there. And it might be a little hard for you to see, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in just like this. Perfect. And then I'm going to put my plate on top, and I'm going to run it through. And take this off, get this out of the way, get this out of the way, pop this piece out, and voila, there is my wreath. Perfect. How do you like that? Now, let me just put this right over here so that I don't lose it, because gosh knows I lose lots of things. All right, lots of, no, not lots, but probably 5. I'm going to put maybe 5 dimensionals on like this. All right, then I'm going to bring in my little 3-inch square that I've already got done with the Merry Christmas and the embossing. And I'm going to take the little pieces of paper off. Good morning, Jean. Good morning, good morning. And I'm going to bring this in and put it wherever I want it. Now, let me just see. I think I might do it this way. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to get popped on like that. How cute is that? Oh, son of a gun. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the berries on. Not a problem. We're going to do it anyway. Now, I can't really put this on my, but I can do it like this. There we go. Because normally, because this is a photopolymer stamp, I would put it on my Pierce pad, but because this is already on with dimensionals, I can't really do that. But that's okay. Look, see, it's working. There are no mistakes in Stampin' Up, none. Look at that. Okay, here we go, one more. What do you think? There, lovely. Okay, so all the berries are on. Now, I already went ahead and cut out the little bow. Hey, Sandy, thank you. Nice to have you pop on this morning. Thank you very much. Okay, so here we go with this. And I'm going to take a little, a mini dimensional, put it on the very back of the bow, right like there. Take this off. Take this little piece off like that. And you know what? I do need to snip a little bit of this off because a little bit of this is showing and I don't want that to show. Actually, you know what? I think instead of doing that, I'm going to just take this off. The way to do that is kind of just roll it off with your fingers. I think what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow on that. Yeah, that will be fine. I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow here and a little bit of Tombow here because the wreath is already popped up on dimensionals, so that's okay. All right, so we're going to put this on. Look at how stinking cute that is. Oh, I can't even stand it. What do you think? Look at this. Of course, we're not done yet. You know what happens next. Of course you know what happens next. You know me. All right, so now let's get the base back on. Here is my card, and here is my little panel that I'm going to put on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I've done this 100 years in a row, I can eyeball it. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I have adhesive on this much, the left-hand side of this panel right here. So I'm going to flip this over very carefully, and I'm going to take my adhesive, and I'm going to put 3 strips like this. I mean, if you wanted, what you could do was you could take this and you could put tick marks, which is an appropriate thing to do. You could put a tick mark here, a tick mark there, and then you would know exactly where you need it. But I'm kind of, we're all kind of advanced stampers, so it works out very easily. I can do it like this. Now I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to make sure that I've got it over just exactly where I want it, and it covers my message, and then I will press that down. And there we have it. And I'm going to check to make sure there's no adhesive on the inside, and there is none, so that's fine. So here is the card. But, of course, we're not done yet, because guess what we have to do? Of course, we have to do some Winky. Now, I am going to put Wink of Stella on the wreath part, not necessarily the branches. And I'm definitely going to put it on the bow, like this. And because I can't live without Wink of Stella, and I can't live without Crystal Effects, and I keep telling Stampin' Up! They need to bring Crystal Effects back because it's a very important additive to have to make our projects even more attractive. Because there are certain times when you need to use Wink of Stella, and certain times when you need to use Crystal Effects, and there are many times when you need to use both of them, and that's one right now. So I'm going to add a few down here, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. It's Christmas in July, And there we go. All right, now I am going to bring in my crystal effects, and I'm going to add the berries are going to get a little bit of crystal effects here because I just want it to be a little bit more special. And you know what else I think I might even do? I might even put some iridescent ice on here. Why not? Just to give it a little bit more sparkle. Because I can, and because I've still got some left over. Okay, and so let me get this in. My dazzling diamonds. I'm losing. See, this is all I've got left. Well, that's not actually true because one of my dear friends gave me some. It's, there we go, like that. And then let me just tap the rest of it off. There we go. Done deal. Look at that. And of course my envelope, I didn't even do the envelope, but I will do the envelope right now. And the envelope is going to get stamped with the berries and with the leaf pattern. And I make sure I get it the right way. So this is going here. And then I'll put that there. And then we'll add some berries like this. Just gives it a nice little hint of what's inside that envelope. All right, so here is my card. Here is my envelope. There we go. What do you think? Easy, easy, easy. So this, my friends, is going to be our first Christmas card for our Christmas in July, starting Christmas in July. All right, so here we go. Let me show you one more time what our projects are. The Christmas in July card, Monday and Tuesday classes, Monday at 4, Tuesday at 9. And then the Earthen texture cards. Look at this. I love this. Love it. And love this one. And so those are going to be for Monday and Tuesday of next week. All right? So that is what we're doing, friends, for next week. I hope you're going to join me. If you want long distance packages, do let me know. You need to have your own stamp set, but that's okay. We can work that out as well too. But I've got a bunch of things to announce to remind you about. First of all, I am doing the So Refreshing class on July 22nd. And these are the cards. I've showed you these before. Look at how beautiful they are. Isn't that pretty? Whoops, there we go. That's better. Look at how pretty. I love that. The flower pot on the tablecloth. It's so beautiful. The tablecloth has got a quilted pattern to it. There's one, and then here's the other one. Here's the picture of lemonade. I love lemonade. Look at how pretty that one is. And this is on a gingham tablecloth. So I'm going to be doing that on the 22nd of July. And I changed it up a little bit because I did have people say, I really want to take that class, but I'm not really wanting to get the whole bundle. That's okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to make 2 of each of these cards. 2 of these and 2 of these. By the way, this is a 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, so you're going to make 2 and 2. You're going to get your own Wink of Stella. You're also going to get a half a package of the white gems that are used on the central part of the internal part of the flower, and also a half a package of the matte dots, which I used up here. This is the balmy blue matte dots, and it comes in 2 different colors. So you're going to get a half a package each of that, a Wink of Stella, and 4 cards, and it's all for $30. So if you want to come to this class, or if you want to have a long distance package, please let me know by tomorrow at the latest, because tomorrow I have to put in that order so that everything will be here by the 22nd. Okay, so that's that. Next thing, don't forget about bonus days. Every $50 product order you put in, you get a $5 coupon. You can spend that in August. That's a great deal. And then the next thing is, if you are a demonstrator, if you are a former demonstrator, if you're thinking of becoming a demonstrator, I have a fun event for you. On September 9th, here in Franklin at the Black Box Theater, my friend Betty Sakosha and I are hosting a celebration of demonstrators. So I hope that you might want to come. I need to know ASAP because we've got a lot of planning to do. We're going to have a fun time. The event is $35, but everything except The $35 covers the rental, helps to cover the rental of the building. But everything else is on Betty and me, and we've got a lot of surprises planned for you. So that's on September 9th. It's an all-day affair, 9:35 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. So that's that. And then the other exciting thing is we are going to the Stage Neck Inn in York, Maine in November 6th through the 10th, I think it is. It's weekday, it's 4 days and 3 nights, or 5 days and 4 nights. I forget what it is. But anyway, if you're interested in that, let me know. It's going to be fun. We haven't done this in a number of years, so it's time for us to get back to doing something like this. So I hope you can join me. All right, my friends, that's it for this Friday morning in July. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're a duck, you're going to love it because it's going to pour. And of course, we're having a family party on Sunday, but that's all right. The party is going to be inside. Not a problem. There are no mistakes. Never. All right, my friends. I hope you have a great week. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, either live or popping on later and watching my replays. I appreciate your support. Namaste, my friends. I love you all.